Hey folks, today I am going to do a review on my favorite Staccato. It is another Staccato video. I purchased several Staccatos over the last year and a half or so. Without a doubt, this is my favorite Staccato in the Staccato lineup. It's the Staccato XC. You can see it has a compensator built into it. If you will look, the compensator and the barrel, along with the sight island, are all milled out of one piece. Then the slide is milled to go around the sight island and made up with the comp. This gun is a freaking blast to shoot. When I looked at this gun, I had it narrowed down between this one and a Nighthawk TRS comp. Let me say this about Staccatos. I'm not bashing Staccato in any way. I like Staccatos, but hear me out on this. Staccato is not a hand-built gun like a lot of people would have you believe. Staccato is a production gun built to an extremely high standard. So while you're not getting the slide and the frame hand fit, the barrel hand fit, the internals hand fit, it is held to an extremely high standard. And that makes these guns, it makes why these guns are so good for the money. You get almost a custom built level quality, but you're paying several $100s, if not several $1,000s less than what an Infinity SVI or an Akai would cost. So these guns are very well built. They are production guns, but they are built to an extremely high standard. When I got this gun, why did I pick it over the Nighthawk TRS comp? This gun costs $4,300. It's not cheap. It's an expensive gun. The Nighthawk TRS comp was about $5,000. Sometimes you could get them for $49,000, but they range from about $49,000 to $5,000. I did not feel as though I was getting an extra $600 or $700 worth of gun by going with the Nighthawk TRS comp. I felt as though for the money, this was a better gun. For the money. I'm not saying this is a better built gun than a Nighthawk. I'm not saying this is a better performing gun than a Nighthawk. I'm saying for the money, I think I got my money's worth out of this more than I would have the TRS comp. That's why I went with this. I'm going to roll in some range footage here, and then we are going to come back and talk about why I like this gun so daggum much. .202. 184. Pretty good. All right, let's try this again. Try to get it down to 1.7s. That was fast. 1.76. Missed my first shot. Dadgummit. I have to do that again. Oh, this gun will shoot. 180, but man, these splits are tight. Let's see what these splits are. 1.4, 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, 1.5. That's pretty quick. Yeah, for me, that's pretty quick. It's not quick for some people, but for me, that's moving on along. Let's move on to something else. Let's see if we can do it 25 yards. I ain't trying to print no 1-inch group, but I just want to see roughly in a steady pace what I can do. Hope I don't embarrass myself. not too hot. This to here is about a 4-inch group. Then I had that flyer, but this is about a 4-inch group at 25 yards. Yep, about 4 inches. Then I had that flyer over there. But if I could have just done away with these two, had us, it's about a 2.5, 3-inch group. That would have been good. I'm gonna try it one more time. That was fun. All right, let's see what we can do. Maybe aim just a little bit lower. Separate those groups. As far as the actual size, it's about the same from there to there. But if I could have counted those two right there, I would have still had, no more than a 4-inch group. So anyway, looks like I need to work on my 25-yard accuracy, huh? All right, as you can see, this gun is fast. It's not just fast, it's flat. The way they've got it sprung almost perfect. When I say sprung, what I mean is it runs a very light recoil spring. I think it's a 9-pound recoil spring. It's either a 7 or a 9-pound. I think it's a 9-pound recoil spring. So when the slide comes back, and then it goes back forward, the comp is keeping the gun flat, so it's not letting it raise as much as it would if it was non-comped. With the 9-pound spring forcing the slide back forward, it doesn't make it dip. Now, if you watch a lot of guns, the slide will come back, and then it'll go forward, and the muzzle will dip and come back up. With this gun, the slide comes back and goes straight forward. There's almost no rise to it. There's a little bit, but there is zero dip to it. If you'll watch the slow motion clip I put in there, you'll notice this gun looks like it's just going straight back and forth, straight back and forth. That's a well-sprung gun. They've got the timing and the springs down pat on this gun. And man, I'm going to tell you, it runs like a Swiss watch. It's just chug, 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 chug. As long as you do your part, this gun is going to perform extremely well. Now, I've done some modifications to this gun. You can tell the hammer is not the same, the trigger is not the same, and the thumb safety is not the same. If you watch any of my 1911 videos, you'll know I put a short trigger and an EGW thumb safety on every one of my guns. Now, this gun came with a 2 or 2.5 pound trigger. Let me explain some stuff about 1911 triggers. You can have a good trigger and it not be light, and you can have a light trigger and it not be good. This trigger, like I said, it's not a hand-built gun, so I'm not knocking them for this, but this trigger on this gun was light. It was 2.5 pounds, good weight, but it was not what I considered good, meaning the break was not crisp and clean. Some people will tell you it's like breaking a small glass rod, just a snap. That's not how this trigger was. So I replaced the internals on this gun. I used a cylinder and slide ultralight sear. I used the cylinder and slide ultralight hammer. I used an SVI or Infinity disconnector. I used the standard factory mainspring, and I didn't tune the sear spring at all. So I did not lighten the sear spring pressure, and I didn't lighten the disconnector pressure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some trigger pulls on this, and I'm going to show you what this trigger comes in as. It's extremely light. It took a lot of work to get it this light, but it's extremely light. Let's see where it breaks. This one broke right at 2 pounds. Right at 2 pounds. Let's do it again. And I'm going to do it on 2 different scales. Right at 2 pounds. Let's do one more time. And let's see where it'll break. right at 2 pounds. Now let's get our digital scale out and let's see where it breaks on our digital scale. I like using the spring one to get a rough idea, but I like to use this digital one to get an exact idea of, or an exact measurement on the trigger itself. So let's get this on here. Let's pull it nice and slow. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 1 pound, 11 ounces. So we got a sub 2 pound trigger. Let's do it again. Put it on there. Ooh, 1 pound, 12 ounces. Let's do it a couple more times and see what this trigger comes into. That was a one-off. That was a 1 pound, 7 ounce. That was a little lighter than what it usually comes in. Let's do it one more time. 1 pound, 10 ounces. So we're ranging between 1 pound, 10 ounce and 1 pound, 12 ounce. It's pretty consistent. Now, I will say it's been averaging that every single time I pull the trigger. Now, you got to remember, I used a factory-powered mainspring, and I did not tune the sear spring. So, if I chose to go about a pound lighter on the factory-powered mainspring, they use a 19 pound. If I went with an 18 pound, and then I tuned that sear spring just a little bit, I mean just a little bit, I would probably have a sub 1.5 pound trigger. So the trigger on this thing turned out phenomenal. I mean, let's see if you can look at it. So we got the trigger, got the take up. I've got that take up set very short. And then I'm going to apply a little pressure. Crisp break. Now, don't get me wrong. The trigger that came on it wasn't terrible. It was not terrible, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good like I like a 1911 trigger. It was good compared to a Glock trigger, but it was not good compared to the 1911 triggers that I do on my own guns. I like that real sharp snap when it breaks. This one, I'm not going to say it had creep, but it almost like it rolled off the sear. You could feel it. It rolled instead of snapped. So I set it to where it's got that snap, and I dropped the trigger pull weight by roughly a pound, roughly 3/4 pound to a pound. So what do I think about this gun? I love this gun. This gun is freaking amazing. It's my favorite gun in all of my collection right now. I will probably never get rid of this gun. I like it that much. And that says a lot, because I go through guns like I go through underwear. But I love this gun. Where do I see it as far as what it would be used for? If you wanted to use it for a competition gun, if you found a competition that this would fit in, a category this would fit in, make a great competition gun. Range gun, make a great range gun. Believe it or not, it'd make a great home defense gun. You've got 20 some rounds on tap plus one, so you got 21 rounds on tap. That's a lot of lead for a home defense gun. Would I consider it as a concealed carry gun? Not me. I wouldn't. I mean, I know there's guys out there that are going to say, man, I carry a XC every day. Good job. You're a better man than me. I'm 5'10", 270, 280 pounds. I'm a pretty big guy, and there's no way I would carry this thing concealed all day, every day. Now, if you want to carry it open, yeah, but this thing's like carrying a Desert Eagle. It's not light. It's big. The grip is big. It's just a big gun. I don't consider this a concealed carry gun. This is a gun I take out to the range and I try to break records with, my own records. And I'm telling you, man, this thing is a shooter. God, it's a shooter. I love this gun. You can see I'm running a Delta Point Pro on it. I know a Delta Point Pro is not the toughest sight out there, but the Delta Point Pro is my favorite sight out there. I love a Delta Point Pro. I like the size of the window. I like the crispness of the dot. I love a Delta Point Pro, and it's a direct mount. You don't need a plate. You can see I've got a rear sight on there. It comes with the rear sight, so if you want to mount a Delta Point Pro, it's already got your backup sight with it. I can't say enough good about this gun. I love this gun. I try to give honest reviews. I really do. If you watch my Staccato CS video, I was very honest when I reviewed that gun. I'm being very honest now. There's not many guns that are going to be better than this at this price point. If you want a gun that's going to be better than this, you're going to spend $5,000 plus. Now, someday would I love to have an Infinity, an SVI? I'd love it. I would love to have SVI built to my specifications. But right now, I don't have $7 grand to dump on a gun. I just don't. And I don't know that I ever will. It was hard enough on a cop salary for me to buy this. And I paid full price for this. Didn't get any discounts, paid full price. So I would love to have an SVI, but man, I don't know how much better it would be than this. Shooting it at 25 yards, I can't remember if I rolled any clips of it in, but shooting at 25 yards, when I'm really bearing down, this thing will shoot standing, unsupported, just strong hand supported. This thing will shoot 3 inches all day long. I'm sure if I put it on a rest, it would shoot 1.5 inches or better. This gun is a fantastic gun for what you pay for it. I know I said it costs $4,300, and that is a lot of money, but you get your money's worth out of this. Some of the higher priced guns, there's a diminish in the return, a diminish in the investment. You only get so much for spending an extra $7,000, $8,000, $1,500. You can only get so much more. With this gun, I think it is the pinnacle of a production level 2011. And to be honest with you, I think it competes up there with the Atlas guns. I really do. Even though the Atlas guns are built by hand, I really think this gun competes up there with the Atlas guns. I've shot Atlases before, and they were phenomenal. But I can't say they do anything better than this one. That's my thoughts on this gun. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, subscribe to the channel, please. Give me a thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you next time.